Hello everyone, it's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and today we are going to train 64 minutes. Now, today's stream is going to be quite an interesting one in the sense that for anyone in the UK, this is a very degenerate time. It's like 2 in the morning, and normally I'd be the one awake at 2 in the morning. Welcome Arif to the stream. So I'm not the only one degenerate enough to be awake at these hours, but no, I'm in Thailand, and actually, yeah, it's morning for me. It's 9 in the morning. So actually, after the Chess Mood Grand Prix, I did not trust that I would be able to wake up for my flight to Chiang Mai. So I just pulled an all-nighter. Yesterday was brutal. I managed to just, not sleep the whole day, and then I managed to have like a good night's rest at a normal time. And that is why I'm up at 9 in the morning. And because I have lots of plans today, then I wanted to get this stream out of the way. So let's just train for an hour before, all the shops open up, because people take it chill in Chiang Mai. Places kind of open at like 11. So perfect timing really to get in an hour of work before, before my day begins. So also, regarding like Chess Mood prize money and stuff, obviously I haven't got any replies yet from David from Chess Mood. So I think today there's a really nice study. What's it called? Like almost like a public library kind of place, but it's more for like digital nomads, I guess. In Chiang Mai, so I'm probably gonna head to that and write Avatic some emails and get to work. Oh boy, got Arjun saying random question on the comments. Very concerned what that question might be about. Yeah, Arjun, aren't you also a UK-based viewer? And then we've got Jan, who's even more degenerate than you guys. 1 hour ahead in Germany. But to be honest, probably I'm going to be the slowest one here because, as you guys know, I'm not a morning person. So probably all these tactics are going to go over my head. I also don't have a desk in Chiang Mai, so I'm kind of sitting on like 2 pillows on a sofa to try and adjust, get to the height of this laptop. Right, Arjun, I mean, I saw your question on the WhatsApp group chat. When playing blindfold chess, do you see the whole board clearly move by move? You also clarified that question on the group chat saying, for people who are good at blindfold. And I'm not good at blindfold, so yeah, I do not have the qualifications to answer. Yeah, to be fair, Jan doesn't have school the next day. Oh no, but probably neither does Arav, given it's holidays. Does Jan have work the next day? Probably does. Probably does. So Jan's the biggest degenerate award. Congratulations. But yeah, Arjun, to answer your question, it's kind of like fragments. I really struggle to see the whole board. I think the strongest player I've beaten while blindfolded is someone who's like 1800 rapid online. But I haven't tried against many stronger, to be fair, so... That is true. You don't need good blindfold skills to be good at chess, but it can be useful and facilitate good chess if you do have good blindfold skills. So, make of that what you will. But okay, we've got Onishek against Karpov. Karpov to play, black to play. Let's have a think. Still on this intermediate exercise grind, we're in the last chapter now. Okay, so we've got Queen, Rook, Bishop, Knight against Queen, Rook, Rook. So Bishop, Knight versus Rook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 1 pawn down. Anything about king safety? Our king is looking extremely weak, although we do have a dark squared bishop covering some key dark squares, although this might still be a threat. Their king is kind of weak. We've got a knight nearby. Maybe this bishop can get involved. Queen can get involved somehow. In terms of pressure, there's a bit of pressure around here. Pressure on this pawn, pressure on this pawn. X-rays? Maybe to the square. Somewhat of an X-ray. Queen is also X-raying like this. Queen is X-raying like this. And then loose pieces, we've got a loose rook, loose knight, loose rook, loose, not loose queen. Okay, that's defended, that's defended. Right, so what checks do we have? Let's begin there. So we've got queen check, we've got queen check. What captures do we... we've also got knight check. Okay, what captures do we have? There's also tension on the rook, if I didn't mention that. So for instance, knight f3, queen takes could be very strong. Yeah, so what captures, we can take here. We can take twice like this. And what threats do we have? Maybe bishop g7 hits the rook, defends check. Maybe bishop here. Okay, actually I'm realizing both bishop g7 and bishop h6 probably fail to rook e8. Given that there's a discovered attack on the queen. Although the queen's not defended, right? This is what we understood, so maybe not. Okay, right, so let's start with the checks then. So if we go queen d1, they just take us and there's no follow-up. If we go queen e3, they go rook takes, again no follow-up. If we go knight f3, they cannot take with the queen because we take the rook and we're up material. If they take with the pawn, is there anything here? Not that I can see. So okay, what about captures? We could... Oh no, this is the check that we looked at and this doesn't really... Surely doesn't lead somewhere. Queen f2 at the very least. Should be okay. So what about a bishop capture like this? I'd be quite concerned with queen f6, but there is king g8. Not entirely clear what the follow-up is for white. Bishop c5 looks quite promising. Rook takes is very bad because of mate. So bishop c5, queen f6, king g8 is definitely an option. If we've got nothing better. Now what about the threats? We have some bishop moves, maybe some queen moves. So okay, if we go bishop g7, let's say they just move the rook somewhere. To be fair, then we got rook f8. And they can't stop the rook from being strong because that hangs the queen. So bishop g7 threatens rook f8 with the idea of the rook coming down here. That looks very good, actually. Because we are threatening to take. What if they try and play this with check? Maybe that's annoying, actually. In that position, probably we're forced to take. Queen takes back. Then we can block, but it's not ideal. They can take and then move their rook. But yeah, that means actually moves like bishop c5 also threaten rook f8, or bishop h6. But the problem is all of these bishop moves, they allow rook e8. So bishop c5, rook e8 even. I mean, we can take and then go king g7. Queen d7 check, maybe? Yeah, it looks a little concerning. Especially given the knight is on pre. Yeah, now I've got this idea of trying to make rook f8 work. It's a struggle to think of anything else. Even going back to this idea of queen e3, rook e3, bishop c5, queen f2 and rook f8, but don't think it works. You can even take the knight. What about these threats such as like queen b2 or queen c3? I realize I'm taking absolutely forever on this exercise, but I'm just struggling. I mean, it doesn't really change anything, right? Like, they just move the rook somewhere. And still any bishop move can be met with rook e8. What about this capture? Did I look at this properly? Queen takes? I mean, my rooks hang as well. It just can't be good. Bishop h6, rook e8, queen e8, king g7, queen d7. Well, then they can't take my knight because I do have bishop at e3 at the end. So maybe bishop here is interesting. Rook e8 takes, king g7. Queen e7. Check. Maybe now we block. Does that have any useful effect? We give a check. I block again. That kind of looks good. Bishop h6. Rook e8, queen e8, king g7. Queen d7, queen f7. Oh, again, takes. And there's no real threat, we can just play rook e1 or something. Yeah, so I really have no idea. Bishop c5 at least wins a pawn. Rook e1, rook takes, queen takes. Queen g8. Queen d4, queen g7. I don't know. I did say bishop c5 was my backup if I'm running out of time. I think we should probably go for it. Probably is wrong though. I don't know what I missed. Knight e4. Which one of you found knight e4? The hell is that? Okay, I just want to put it out there. First of all, good job, Arrow, for finding it. But I have to say, you have found the best move first every single exercise for the last like 10 exercises. I'm not kidding. So all I can say is you're on absolute fire. But I wonder if it's knight e4. That is a crazy statement. That is a crazy statement to just come out with knight e4 so quickly. I guess you at least fought for like maybe a minute, so that's good. Then we got the confirmation from Bob that knight e4 looks good. That's crazy. Threatening knight g5. That is crazy. I don't see like tactics going backwards like that. That's wild. So knight e4, rook e1, knight g5. Why does the rook have to move to e1? So okay, wait. So knight e4, rook cannot take it because the queen takes f7, obviously. And we're threatening knight g5. We're also threatening queen e3. That is unbelievable. So that's why rook e1 to protect the e3 pawn, and then knight g5, queen f6. And I guess bishop g7? Queen g5. And then queen e6 at the end. That is unbelievable. Yeah, there's no, I don't know, man. I don't know. Arab's just like so chill, like, oh yeah, what's your thoughts on mac and cheese straight after this? As if this is like absolute cake to find 94, 95. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, Arab, just get to like FM already, like with this level of calculation you've had recently. 94 is so nice though. Oh man, sorry to hear. Oh, there goes the cap of this drink. Yeah, sorry to hear about the calf as. That's doesn't sound ideal. Original thought was rook is pinned and queen is free. I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. If you see 94, like, I guess it does make a lot of sense. It's just a crazy move to, like 94. Like to me, it just doesn't look like a tactic. It just looks such a non-move. But yeah, the fact that it combines with 95. But even so, I feel like you need to see Bob's line to actually appreciate it after rookie 1, 95, because 95 is still queen f6, and it's not entirely clear. Well, it is clear if you keep calculating, but it's just it's crazy. So bishop takes c5. Was this the second best move? Because at least if this was second best move, then I'm happy that I made this call to play this. No, moves like queen c3 are just even better. Huh. So bishop c5. Okay, was a strong move except for this rook e8. And I was trying to make... Yeah, queen g8 was... I accepted that king g7 wasn't going to work. Why is that actually, though? Because I thought I said like queen d7 was the problem, but obviously this is not a problem. So what was I concerned about? Oh, there's queen e5 to pick up the bishop. Right. And instead I said queen g8, queen e5, queen g7, and then this is just a draw because there's this, but then they can just repeat. And you don't want to be blocking with the bishop because then this is too weak, right? Oh no, there's no... Okay, rook d1 and then rook f1. So there is a way to... Yeah. I don't know, this is... Okay, and we're just... And then there's a new perpetual with queen e6. Fine. Yeah, so this is no better than a draw. Yeah, and I couldn't work out why this made any difference to the position. Queen c2. Queen c3, queen c2 is pretty insane. What if they just go rook e1? And just take with the queen? And just say that queen f6 is never a threat. And the game just goes on. Yeah, maybe this is a better way. Because bishop c5 or moving the bishop allows this rook e8. It's just a bit too optimistic. Yeah. Fine. Okay, let's okay. I thought we were gonna do the next one, but looks like we have to solve this first. Okay, so they stop knight g5, but then this allows queen e3. So we already pick up a pawn, the king gets weaker. Are we allowed to stop there without calculation? I mean, there aren't any threats, so I think we can. Yeah, just queen takes e3, king h1, queen d4, covering this long diagonal, maintaining control. Interesting how, again, Axel Smith doesn't mention the critical line of rook e1 knight g5 and just says, I mean, you got to see queen f6 that the rook is hanging on e6. This is kind of lazy, I think, to end the line here. Like queen f6 is a check. Like it of course has to be. The line has to continue. Okay, next one, Karpov against Leko. That did not work. There we go. Okay. So we've got queen, rook, rook, bishop, knight against queen, rook, bishop, bishop, knight. So they've got bishop and knight. Oh my god, I can't even count. Queen, rook, rook, bishop, knight against queen, rook, bishop, bishop, knight. So we've got a rook for a bishop. They've got 5 pawns, we've got 4. So they've got an extra pawn. And a bishop for our rook. It's a dark square bishop that they've got extra. Instinctively, queen takes pawn looks very strong because we support the knight. So, you know, we're ready to take back and they can't take with check anymore. We also add pressure to h7, we pressure the rook. This looks like a strong move. But okay, let's keep thinking. So our king is very exposed, it's in the center. There are some potential checks, there's some potential discoveries. Their king is also looking quite weak, it's got nowhere to run, we've got some kind of pressure from these pieces. In terms of pressure, got pressure here, pressure here, pressure here. They've got pressure here, pressure here. Right, and then what about x-rays? You've got x-ray here, x-ray here, x-ray to the queen, x-ray to the rook. And then what about loose pieces? Yeah. So let's begin with our checks then. Now that we've seen all of that, did we consider loose pieces? We did, right? And there aren't any. I mean, I guess the knight is hanging right now. 2 attackers, 1 defender. So checks, captures, threats. So what checks do we have? We do not have a check because of this pin. So no checks. What captures do we have? We've got queen e7, got rook h6, got bishop a6, probably nothing. This is pinned. And what about threats? So our threats need to be pretty quick if we're going to deal with the fact that they've got this capture. Yeah, I don't see a good threat. Maybe queen c3 to try and push d5, but doesn't seem that realistic. Seems quite slow. Okay, so queen takes e7. Let's start there. So queen e7... Do we actually have a threat besides just defending the knight? There's also pressure on a rook. I don't know why. I don't know if I missed this. Yeah, queen e7, what if they just, let's say, take our rook? Do we actually have something? Because maybe there's a move like bishop d3 to try and displace the queen and go for queen h7. They can always go queen g7, but I'm really not convinced. And what about rook h6, queen h6, queen e7? Is this any good? Also doesn't look great. I mean, we could sack the rook just so that it's not attacked anymore. And then play a move like queen e3. Then we are threatening something, right? We're threatening this knight f7. So maybe that's just it. Rook h6, queen e3 with the double attack. Don't see how they defend that actually. This check does nothing, we've just got bishop takes. They throw in the rook, we can always drop back. Not to mention the queen's on e3 anyway, covering the square. So rook h6, queen e3 looks pretty strong. Yeah, I think we can play it. Looks very good. Nice. So queen e7, just bishop h1. Exactly, that's what I said. And if queen e7 now, I was trying to make this work as well, but yeah, didn't. Oh wow, this was actually played in the game. And black resigned due to... Oh, in the game, black just resigned at this moment. Queen e3, queen f6, queen e4, queen e3, knight c4. I just thought, oh, they do have this check here. Oh, didn't see that. But luckily, the queen is actually defending the rook. Can we not just block the bishop here as well? Should be fine to block with the bishop. Okay, blocking with the bishop is also fine. I don't know why you wouldn't block with the bishop and play king e1. I mean, king e1 is such an Axel Smith turn on the engine and put a move solution. King e1 is like, who does king e1 instead of bishop e2? Like, that's so weird. Okay, so let's see how people did it. Hey, good job, Bob, for rook h6, queen e6, queen e3. Yeah, I kind of felt the same as Faz. Like, I wanted to make these queen e7 ideas work, but just looks good enough. But yeah, good perseverance with finding queen h2, Faz, in this line. I guess queen h2 immediately. You can just take on e4, take on g1, take on h7. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's move to the next one. Karpov again with the white pieces. So actually black to play and have a chance to beat Karpov. Okay, so what's going on? We've got queen, rook, bishop, two knights. Queen, rook, bishop, bishop, knight. So they've got the bishop pair. They've got the extra dark square bishop. Their king looks a little dodgy. I mean, we've kind of got these pieces threatening to come in somehow. But it looks, maybe the pawn as well. So it looks a little weak. On the dark squares especially. But we don't have the dark square bishop, so It's not too bad. Our king looks a lot safer in comparison. Really doesn't look like white's pieces are ready to hurt us. In terms of piece tension, yeah, there's 2 pieces attacking here, 2 pieces defending. Bishop's covering these guys, we've got pressure here. Also pawn attacking a knight, pawn defending, knight attacking these points. Okay, and then X-rays, we've got some X-ray going over here, X-ray going here. Maybe there's something like this. Fine, so what about loose pieces? Loose rook on d1. Maybe X-ray to the square somehow. Loose queen on f2. Loose bishop, loose rook, and hanging knight. Fine, so black to play, what can we do? Well, let's begin with our checks. We have queen check. That's it. What about captures? We've got knight capture, bishop capture. And what about threats? We've got rook e2. Maybe f4, maybe knight f4. Rook e1 perhaps. Knight c2, knight d3. Right. So okay, let's start with our check. Queen takes, knight takes, king takes. No follow-up. So what about captures? If we start with knight takes, queen takes. Anything better than queen takes? No, right? Okay, so what about any other captures? Bishop f3, just take back. Really hasn't helped. And then what about threats? So okay, this rook e2. If they ignore, well then we're attacking their queen. If they move their queen, then we've got this queen g3, which looks very promising. So probably they should take and allow this queen takes g3. Although it's not forced for us to take. Like we could do something else, but this looks promising. Then we got king h1 or king g1, right? So let's say we go king h1. Not so easy to bring the knight in because they can just chop the knight. We have lost the whole rook and they are threatening queen e8 mate. Yeah, not quite convinced. So what about other threats that we can start with? Bishop, knight here doesn't work, it's just bishop takes. f4, probably they can just push g4. Although we do get a very nice knight into g3, but then they can just take the pawn. Not sure how nice that knight is anymore. Especially given like rook e2 can be met by queen takes knight. I just realized I should change my thumbnails to show Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That'd probably be the best way to do it. Let me make a note of this. Thumbnails show Monday, Friday. Because I need to create some new thumbnails anyway. Because we're almost out of these old ones. Actually, maybe what about a move? So sometimes having a break just helps. Suddenly thought, what about knight d3? And that was a candidate move, right? I was saying like knight d3, knight c2, these are potential disruptive moves, rook e1 as well. And knight d3, I suddenly realized if rook takes, well then there's some x-ray. So knight d3, rook takes, and then f4. Now it kind of looks good, right? So we're threatening this and also threatening this. So knight d3, rook takes f4. Probably may need to play a move like queen c2. And do we have enough for the sacrificed piece? I mean, still queen takes just king g1. But maybe there's some idea here. Like if we change the move order somehow, but it doesn't quite look effective. It's very close. Knight d3, rook d3, f4, queen c2. Oh, to be fair, after queen c2, if we go pawn takes and the king goes to the background, we do have rook e1. So maybe that's very promising. Knight d3, rook d3, f4. Let's say they go queen d2 then. Maybe we still go pawn takes g3, king h1. Maybe king g1 is better there. King g1. I mean, our knight is attacked as well, so we do kind of need to do something about it. Does knight c2 have any other effect? I mean, in a way, this queen is also loose on that square, so maybe again we can play like f4. But this time they can throw in takes, which is annoying. Definitely on something. Knight d3 looks decent. I guess pawn push, and if they push and we go knight d3, don't believe that. I feel like they can move their queen or something and a knight is in trouble. I feel like knight d3 is correct, I just don't see the follow-up. Oh, what if we sack with knight g3 first? No, that doesn't work because then queen just takes. Knight d3, rook d3, f4 I'm sure is correct. Queen d2. Ah, queen takes covers the e1 square. Right, so then we can bring the rook in like this. Okay, then that looks very, very strong. Yeah, so that's what I missed. I missed that queen takes g3 covers e1. So yeah, knight d3 should be the correct answer. Yeah, f4. Right, and in this position I thought we just take, but I'm realizing that my knight is on pre. So queen takes rook, they take my knight. I mean, it looks very strong. It really does look like we've got a big attack. Like queen h4. The only annoying thing about that is there is this queen d8 threat, but maybe we can sack the rook. Rook takes, king takes, and then queen takes f3. Or bishop takes f3. Alright, let's calculate that. So queen d3, pawn takes h4, rook e2, queen h4, rook g2, king g2. Probably bishop f3 looks slightly better. So there's king h2, king g1, or king f2. If king g1, queen d1 would transpose to one of the other lines. So if king f2, queen g2, queen e2, queen g2, and if king h2, yeah, queen e2, queen g2. So that just wins. Yeah, I wonder if we'll get the full line. Yeah, rook g2. So really, queen takes f3 is better. I did not see mate in 2. Oh, that's a shame. I didn't see mate in 2. I somehow thought that queen f3, there's no mate. That's really weird. I don't know why I couldn't see mate in 2. But at least bishop f3 is mating as well. And I did calculate that all of these moves do indeed lose. Yeah, and I saw that queen g1, queen d1 transposes, so... Okay, we saw a mate, so that's what really matters. It is concerning that we can't see queen f3 as mate in 2. Yeah, no, knight d3, nice move. I wonder if the guy found it. I presume so. f4, g4, yeah. Wasn't enough. Alright, let's see who found knight d3. Alright, Faz and Bob are both finding knight d3 quick. Good job. Yeah, rook d3, f4, g4, I can't hack it. Right. Queen d3, gh4, rook e2, queen h4, queen c2, interesting. So, that was my initial thought as well before I saw the sack idea, to just play queen c2. But then there's queen d8, and I think there's issues. Yeah, queen c2, there's queen d8. Right. Yeah, so Bob spotted that after as well. And yeah, this other very important line to notice is if queen c2 here, I believe, or queen d2, there's this queen g3, and then we cover rook e1. I think this line needs to be mentioned as well. Like I think queen d2 is very important. Because if you play queen d2 and white doesn't find the right reply, then it's not winning. So, I don't know, just trash analysis from Axel Smith yet again. Rook g2 is brilliant, well spotted. Yeah, forcing move. It's a shame you say it's brilliant and well spotted, and then I don't see the follow up of queen f3, queen g2. That's funny. So on rook e2, I guess queen g3 has to be played. What do you mean rook e2? When rook e2? At the start? I mean, this never had a follow-up, right? So I'm not sure which position you're talking about. So on rook e2, when was rook e2? Okay, rook e2 was within the actual solution line, right? So that was this. Right, but what am I talking about? Takes rook e2. But yeah. But there's no queen g3. Yeah, there's the f pawn exactly, Bob. Yeah, good stuff. Welcome, Frizz. How's it going? Was about to sleep, but I guess I'll wait. Yeah, it's crazy how I'm not the degenerate one today, since actually 3 a.m. Western time is a normal time in Thailand. Okay, yeah, you guys are covering the Woodpecker questions, so thank you. You're the main problem to moderate, Arab. It's too true. Come on, Arab. I want to see some instant stockfish answers. Let's go. Let's do another one. You've been slow these last 2 exercises ever since I called you out. So come on. Let's find some top moves. Okay, Starlov against Karpov, white to play. 1998. So we've got queen, rook, rook, knight against queen, rook, rook, knight. 1, 2, 3, 4 against 5. So we're pawn down. Their king is not castled. Our king is. We have some weak light squares. We've also got this queen. However, the rest of their pieces aren't really attacking us. What about this king? Yeah, the knight is quite far away. We've got this pressure on the A file, but also feels like our pieces are a little bit distant. In terms of pressure, we've got pressure like this. Okay, no more pressure, so what about x-rays? Maybe there's some potential x-rays this way, x-ray like this, x-ray onto this square. X-ray like this maybe, not too sure. If that's relevant, is what I mean. Okay, man, what about loose pieces? Got a loose knight on d2, loose queen on c6, loose rook on h8. This pressure is only defended by the queen, so maybe this is some idea. Okay, so loose pieces, got a loose knight on d2, loose rook. I think I already mentioned this, right? So okay, what about checks? Let's begin about checks. So got queen h8, that's the only check. What about captures? Got captures like this. What about threats? So we had this rook c3 idea. Maybe knight c4 then, maybe knight e4. Okay, knight e4, they still defend the rook, but you never know. Okay, knight c4, rook c3. Maybe b5. Right, so do we start looking at, start calculating? Don't think there's anything else to consider. Unless there's some queen moves that are promising. I don't know, like to threaten like rook here. So I guess the queen moves are also somewhat interesting. Okay, fine, so queen a8. If the knight takes, rook takes. Let's say king e7. Can take on h8, so we want a knight and rook for a queen. I mean, they can take the b pawn. We can get this check in, but they've always got king f6. The rook covers knight, knight e4, and the queen. So I'm not entirely convinced there. Queen a8, knight takes, rook takes, king e7. Don't really see anything else. Okay, what about captures then? If we take on b7, queen takes b7, rook a7 doesn't, nah, it's just not good. Alright, so queen b6, just simply queen takes b6. Really shouldn't be anything there. So okay, what about these threats? Okay, if we push the pawn, they cannot just move to any old square because the rook is hanging, right? So let's say they try and stay on this diagonal. Well, actually, what squares can they go where they still defend the rook? I guess they've got queen here. Queen here, queen here, queen here. Right? So if queen here, this rook d3 isn't so good. They can take, they take. This could be good. They castle, we take the knight, they take our knight, and we have this very strong pawn. So maybe b5 is promising. Let's consider some other moves first. If rook c3, queen takes, and we're lost. Surely. Very likely lost. I mean, king g2, they castle, we take their knight. I mean, that rook should count for something. So what about this knight c4 as well? The knight cannot take because of this. Knight... If they take with the queen, then we take here. Do we actually have a threat? Let's say they castle. I guess we can take e5 at the very least. I mean, a pawn's a pawn. And it also hits the queen, so the queen again has to make some choices of where to go. I mean, after a move like queen c7, I'd love to play b5. They can't take our knight because their rook still hangs, but then I've got to start reckoning with like moves like rook a8. Oh, but rook a8 is never working because queen takes, knight takes, rook takes. I thought we had back rank, but there is rook b8. I don't know. It's a bit messy then. Although that position might be winning after rook takes, queen takes. We've got rook, knight, and pawn against queen. We just push b6. Because I don't think they can take due to rook a8. Is that crazy? Is that absolutely insane? To try and play rook, pawn, and knight against queen in that final position. Knight c4, castles, knight e5. I guess they don't have to go queen c7. They can go like queen d5 as well, which might just be a lot better. That was a pretty mega long variation, wrong variation. But I guess we've got rook d3, and if they take, we take. I mean, knight c4 feels very good. Even if we don't take on e5, we can do something else. Wait, knight here, big castle, right? Yeah, we have a whole... Oh, we got knight a5 as well. Probably that's just strong. Yeah, so knight c4 should just be winning then. Yeah. I am curious to see that long line. Okay, so they get out of the shenanigans. But then don't we have like knight b6 here? I guess rook takes is necessary. Then we can give queen check, queen takes, rook takes, and we just win. So knight b6, if we take with the rook, then we just do this check. That's what I just said. If we take with the queen, it's also this. So this just wins. Oh, so they're just gonna castle me down a piece, but why is this so significant? I mean, I would have thought just moving the knight back is good enough, but do we actually have some problems? Like, if they take, we just take, and... Oh, wait a sec. The queen is hanging as well. So, okay, if they take us, we take them, and they take here, and then we just take. I mean, we're a piece up. Surely is winning. I think knight c4 is just good enough. Knight c4, if they play rook here, we can take. So knight c4 is just strong. Yeah. So, I'm really curious to see after castles. Okay, obviously knight a5 is just strong. But I was looking at this crazy line. So knight a5 is just good, obviously, because of the fork. But knight e5, I thought queen c7. And what was I looking at? I think I was looking at b5 here. And I was trying to work out if, yeah, so this is good for me, but the point is they just don't need to play it, right? They can just play something different. I thought if they play something different though, then I bring my knight into c6, and I thought this was good. But now they've got rook a8, okay, fine. So that's where the long variation, wrong variation comes in. But this I was actually feeling was pretty promising. Oh wait, did I just lose? Wait, why is... Okay, so stop, chessable engine is struggling. But I was looking at this position with takes, and then b6 here. But looks like that blunders, and looks like knight c6 is winning. So, okay, it was promising, I just needed to finesse. I did not have the finesse. b6 is apparently not working. Yeah, I saw that, and then I thought, oh, maybe I've got knight d7. This is where I kind of got to. Okay, engine's kind of coming around, so... Yeah, maybe there's some logic here. But okay, yeah, just find knight a5. Like, you know... but yeah, that was good. Yeah, knight a4 would not be a happy queen. And let's see how we got on. Right. Knight c4 first from Faz. Pretty wild. I was looking at knight c4 without even seeing knight a5. That's how tragic my tactical vision is. Yeah, not surprised that Arav has printed out photos of me on his pillows. Yeah, I'm so glad screen time wasn't a thing when I was a kid. Actually, would be the most tilting thing ever. Got there finally, yeah. What is this random? We should all go out for dinner together. So that's pretty rogue comment, Arav. Okay, Kramnik versus Karpov. Let's go. God, I guess this is probably the last one. If we take some time on this. So, okay, let's have a thing. Queen, rook, rook, bishop, bishop, knight. Queen, rook, rook, bishop, knight, knight. So we've got bishop pair. They've got knight, bishop. We've got the extra dark square bishop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Different structure though. We've got the isolated c pawn. Their king has not castled properly, right? We probably checked them and they had to move or something. So it's a little bit awkward. Our king is fully castled. Wait a sec, bishop g7 is that just knight f5? Yeah, but before we just calculate that, because obviously they don't have to take, right? They can play like king g8. This is also not completely clear for the record, even this position, right? Because there's stuff like this. So, I don't know. So, okay, we've got pressure here, we've got pressure here. Any other pressures? Pressure on c3. But there's really a lot of x-rays in the position. Like, there's rook coming down at the very end. Got bishop to this rook, even. Got bishop to g2. Got rook to the queen. Lots of x-rays. What about loose pieces? We've got loose... No, that's not loose. There's a queen. Loose rook, loose knight. Loose bishop. Fine. So, okay. Also loose pawn. This is a loose pawn. Okay, so checks. What checks do we have? We've got bishop g7. Knight e6 is also a check. What about captures? No additional captures. What about threats? Maybe knight f5 first, change the move order. Queen g4. I don't know, one of these moves should be working, to be honest. So okay, let's start with like this bishop g7. Bishop g7, if they ignore it, then we just take the rook. And that should be pretty strong. So bishop g7, king g7, knight f5. My concern is, can they just take? And then when we take, they just take. And we've lost the bishop, knight, and rook for queen and a pawn. And in that final position, we can't win the rook because the rook is protecting it. But their knight is loose on c4, right? So maybe we've got queen g4 at the very end. Bishop g7, king g7, knight f5, pawn e6, rook e7, knight e7, queen g4. No, because there's a pawn on f5, that'll take us. I mean, bishop g7, knight f5 is not the only follow-up. We could start with queen g4. What if we start with queen g4? I guess they just go back. Then probably like rook e6 is working. Rook e6, if pawn takes, knight takes. King f7 is only move. Queen g7, king takes e6, forced. I mean, there might not be a checkmate there, because rook e1, there might just be knight e3 or something. And there's just no mate. Feels like there's something though. Okay, what about knight e6 to start with? If they take with the queen, again we've got some similar type of motif. So we should probably take with the pawn. I'm not entirely convinced by queen f3. So yeah, bishop g7 is much more promising. What about the threats? If we threaten checkmate with queen g4, we can probably go f6. Probably fine. And what about knight f5? They just take. Then we can go bishop g7, but we get to the same situation. I feel like bishop g7 first is the stronger of the moves then, if this just reaches the same. There's no difference here, right? There's no other tries except bishop g7. Right, so nothing else looks good, unless I'm forgetting a candidate move. To be fair, oh no, I keep thinking about the bishop's loose, but there's a queen here. I was thinking like, can we just go queen b3 and win? But no. The knight is also pressuring our bishop, so we kind of want to be quick with this. I feel like bishop g7 has to be correct. Knight f5, pawn takes. I mean, is there anything else? I mean, knight f5 is not forced, as I mentioned, but is there anything else here? Rook, bishop g7, king g7, knight f5, pawn takes. What if I throw in this first? If I didn't get the queen out of trouble, though, that's the problem. Bishop g7, king g7, knight f5, pawn f5, rook e7, knight e7. What's the follow-up? There's no queen d4, no queen g4. So no checks. Ah, what about the move queen e2? Is that not a fork on these two knights? Probably just a fork on these two knights and then we're good. Yeah, just queen e2 at the end. That's nice. Okay, so fine. I think it all works. Takes and queen e2. Let's go. Wow, we're actually seeing forks now. Crazy times. Crazy times. Let's see how people did. Did screens exist when you were a kid? When I was a baby, maybe not. No, of course they did, actually. Of course they did. What am I talking about? I'm just trying to think of my childhood, like when I started playing on screens. I guess, yeah, no, I had like a computer when I was like probably like 4 years old. But I had like, there weren't such things as like touchscreen. Touchscreen was the more new thing, right? So I'd play on like Game Boys and some PC games. Yeah, Arav, to be honest, I feel like finding bishop g7, knight f5 is infinitely easier in 10 seconds than finding knight e4 in that first exercise. Like, knight e4, so nonchalant, like, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But who knows? There are very different types of chess players. I'm not seeing anyone mention the fork at the end. Yeah, so what is this what is this queen g4 line here? I didn't believe it. I thought the king just goes back to f8. Yeah, the king just goes back to f8. So what's... Oh, you guys were looking at... Sorry, you're looking at queen g4 in this position where we just go king g8. But I just stopped calculating after just taking the rook. Right, yeah, we just take the rook. No need to get fancy. Yeah, Bob finds queen e2. Fantastic. Was suffering through some studies but don't want to no more. So I guess these are child's play compared to the studies. There is a pawn on f5 indeed. My visualization sucks. I also had the same problem. Yeah, queen e2 forks for knights. Can we have a cool down yap sesh for the boys? I hate both those sentences. Right, guys. Cool down yap sesh. I don't know if there's anything else to add except I have a full day ahead of me. It's absolutely beautiful in Chiang Mai and the shops are starting to open up. I've got a bunch of things I need to get done today. But yeah, no, life is pretty good. So glad we could get most of these correct. Again, backward knight move tactics need to work on those. But I think I've been a bit more consistent with the steps of my methodology. Like even the counting today, you could see was actually pretty consistent. Some days we're just counting in completely erratic, chaotic ways. So yeah, good luck with your hopefully full night ahead of you as well. Hopefully you're a bit tired from the training. Oh dear, mic drop, mic drop. Yeah, Arav, just go to sleep, man. And on that note, let's call it a day. So thanks for tuning in. See you guys on Wednesday. And yeah, good session. Okay, bye.